enjoy. With that, I'll hand over the floor to President Mayann to get the meeting started.
Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmasters. Thank you, Belmont Manila team. I would like to announce that the meeting is now in order. Thank you.
Call the meeting to order. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, please introduce our Toastmaster of the evening. The morning, afternoon, Joevel Fernandez.
TME, I can hear you. Where's the mic? It's not the mic. Okay, our TME today will be Mr. Joevel Fernandez. Sir.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. Good afternoon, Belmont. How are you today? Doing good. It's so nice. It's a beautiful afternoon, and it's so nice to be with you. And we're so excited to share this beautiful moment with all of you. Now, tonight, this afternoon, is very special for all of us because we are celebrating Women's Month. We would like to value, we would like to credit all women out there, because without women, what life could possibly be? Life is difficult without women. And we are part of this commemoration. We would like to celebrate Women's Month. And I believe this is the first meeting of Belmont, right, DTM Phebe?
Yeah, no.
Right.
We have been meeting. Sorry.
First meeting.
We have been meeting them.
You have been meeting. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
For them to participate as speakers, we'll have today as the speaker.
Okay.
Will be sharing their icebreaker.
Icebreaker. And can we have the slides for about Toastmasters, so we have to proceed with the program?
Yeah, maybe we can skip the orientation side.
Orientation.
We have been able to share that with them.
Okay, great.
So this one,
Okay.
you want to start off with the invocation.
All right, to start with the invocation, may I call? Who's leading the invocation? Oh, it's online.
Go ahead, you TME.
Okay. All right. Let's start the program with the invocation, and let me do it for all of us. Okay. Precious Father, thank you so much for this day. Thank you for gathering all of us. We know this day is special for all of us. Bless our activity. Be with us. Make this a very fruitful event for everyone. This we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. Mga kababayan,
and for our Toastmaster promise, please raise your right hand and let's recite the Toastmaster promise. Attend club meeting regularly.
As a member of Toastmasters in my club, I promise
By ability, basing them on the Toastmasters education program,
program
to
to prepare for and fulfill meeting
Feel
assignments,
to
provide
provide fellow
members
members
with
with
helpful,
helpful, constructive evaluations, to
to
help the
help
club
club maintain
maintain the
positive,
positive, friendly
friendly
environment
environment
necessary
necessary
for
for
all
all
members
members
to learn and
to
grow.
learn and grow, to
To
serve my
serve my
club
club as an officer when called upon to do
and to
so,
do so, to treat my
to treat
fellow
my
club
fellow club
members
members and
and our guests
with
with respect
respect
and
and
courtesy,
courtesy, to be in
Every
guests
being
to club
guests
meetings so they can see
and
the
see the
benefits
benefits Toastmasters members offer,
Toastmasters memberships offers,
to adhere
to
to the
adhere to the
guidelines and the
guidelines and
rules
rules for all
of Toastmasters
Toastmasters education and
education
recognition
and
programs,
programs, to act
to act
within
within
Toastmasters'
Toastmasters'
core
core
values of
values of
integrity.
integrity, respect, service, and excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters
Toastmasters.
activities.
All right. I think we have to skip this, right? Femi?
Yes.
Okay.
We already
Okay,
did
we're
the
all,
orientation last time last Wednesday. So we will not go through the orientation, which we usually do when we have visitors
yeah.
in the club.
Go to the word of the day.
Yeah.
Yes, everyone has been able to go through this. We will proceed to the table topics.
All right. Now, but before that, may I call our grammarian to introduce our word of the day. What's the word of the day, DTM Femi?
James, DTM.
James, DTM James.
Yeah, I was asking for the word of the day, Madam Phoebe. Am I to be the one?
Yes,
I can.
please. Mhm.
Please.
Okay, I will borrow Jonathan's favorite word. Our word for the day is auspicious. Auspicious is an adjective, and it means promising success, opportune, and favorable. And when used in a sentence, this is, I may say, a very auspicious day. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day, Tim Joevel.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster, for sharing our word of the day. It's auspicious. So I encourage everyone to use the word when we are called to speak in front. Please remember to use the word of the day, auspicious. All right, Belmont people, are you ready?
Yes.
Yes, we are so ready. Now let's proceed to the next segment of our program this afternoon. This is our table topics. And to facilitate our table topics, may I call in Toastmaster Carmina. Please give Carmina a warm round of applause, please.
I will take over if she is not in.
Oh, Toastmaster Carmina,
She's not
I
in.
didn't-
So I
she's still
will.
not in. So we would like to call DTM Feby to facilitate our table topics this afternoon.
All right.
DTM
Good
Feby?
afternoon, everyone. Once again, I'm here to share with every one of us our table topics session. And in giving our table topics, it's equivalent to an extemporaneous speaking. And here we have some patterns, table topics patterns on how you would respond to the questions that will be raised. Table topics is like training in terms of thinking, in terms of our organization of thoughts and our ability to speak and organizing our thoughts. How to organize the topics, our thoughts when we share to the questions that will be raised. We have here prep or position, reason, example, and position. This pattern is usually used when you are asked to if you agree or disagree to the statement. So you can give your position and then give your reason, example, and position. When you say, for example, do you agree that customer service should be at the forefront of the hotels. So if you say, yes, I agree, because without the customers, our business will flop. For example, when a guest comes in, we give them the greetings that we need in order for them to feel comforted and comfortable. So I agree with the position. That is just a simple way of responding to the questions, to that question. We have also another pattern we call attention, interest, desire, or action. This is in short AIDA, where we open our statement with catching the attention of the audience, holding on to their interests, and then sustaining their desire. And then in the end, you give your call to action. The third one is when you are asked a question that you can share your past experiences, your present, and the future. You have that. Maybe we can have that as an example later. And the most famous one is the story, message, and game. I'll just discuss the four. You can make a selection on the four table topics pattern. But with that, I'd like to incorporate it in the word care, C-A-R-E. C, when you deliver your speech, you start off with C, which is to connect with the audience. All the patterns will need for you to connect with your audience. A is for you to answer the questions. When you answer the question, you can utilize this table topics pattern depending on the question that will be asked. And then R is for you to respond that is related to your audience. And E is to engage your audience. For example, you call the audience to action or give them the challenge. You can make that as your conclusion. In giving table topics, we are timed. We are given 2 minutes to deliver our speech. So we have our timer. Toastmaster John, you can see there the timer. And at 1 minute, he is going to show the green color. At 1 minute and 30 seconds, he will show yellow. And 2 minutes, he will show red. When you see red, you have 30 seconds to wind up your speech. Below 1 minute or above 2 minutes and 30 seconds, you could be disqualified if you are joining a contest. So in most of the clubs, or all the clubs would observe the 2 minute time frame for you to deliver your speech. In other words, you have to speak within the time frame of 1 to 2 minutes. That is a good exercise for us to streamline our speeches. All right, are you ready? We can invite anyone who is ready to respond to our table topics. Is anyone ready to speak? From BHM. We can call 3.
So now who's gonna?
Volunteer, please.
Table topics pa.
Yes, just to give I'm going to show, okay, would you like a model?
Yes, please.
Okay, would like to call on Sir Ed, our club mentor, Ed Fabonan, Distinguished Toastmaster Ed Fabonan, to answer the first question. Ed Fabonan, every woman's success should be an inspiration to another. We're strongest when we cheer each other on. Every woman's success should be an inspiration to another. We're strongest when we cheer each other on. Ed Fabonan.
Thank you, Phebe, and good afternoon. Toastmasters from Belmont Hotel. I agree. Everyone's success should be an inspiration to everyone else. Like for men, we shouldn't be threatened by the success of a woman. For me, if my wife succeeds, if my wife suddenly becomes successful in business and she earns more, I should be inspired and happy because the money that she earns will also become my money. So, yes, we have to be inspired. But more than that, we have to realize that among the two genders, women have the most difficult assignment. At home, for example, women are expected to take care of the house, take care of the children, while at the same time, they have to work, to go to the office and work. And if you are still able to become successful at work despite the dual assignment, it means that you are really a very good multitasker. In fact, if women can do that, we should be asking women is their secret. And we should also be inspired to be as resilient and as patient as those who succeed in this very competitive world. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much, Sir Ed, for giving us a model on how to respond to table topics. So you see what Sir Ed has done was to utilize the pattern prep. He agreed on the statement and then he gave his reason, gave an example, and then back to the statement. Who would like to volunteer for the second one?
Hi. We have Kai.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Who is going to volunteer? Adek. May I know your name, please? Sorry.
Sorry, I'm Guy now.
Guy. Guy. Thank you. All right. Guy, you've got everything. You've got everything to take the world in your stride. You've got everything to take the world in stride. Guy.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. So, first, good afternoon, everyone. So, I agree in getting everything to take the world in my stride. So, I'm so sorry. Ready? One, fast.
Call a friend, no?
Call a friend, no, sorry. Okay, let's try. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jane.
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 Okay. Thank you so much for trying, Guy. Now we go to the next question. You want to talk about the other question?
Strong woman.
First one.
But the search to find that voice and be remarkably difficult.
Okay. A woman with a voice is by definition a strong woman, but the search to find that voice can be remarkably difficult. A woman with a voice is by definition a strong woman. By the search to find that voice can be remarkably difficult.
Voice is by definition a strong woman, but the search to find the quote. Yes, it's an okay. Okay. Based on the quote that we just said, okay, I will start my speech now. What is a woman? So for me, a woman is not just about the gender of a person since she was born. A woman for me is someone who is honed by all the experiences, all the things that she has been fighting for, the equality, the gender equality, and the rights that she's been honed to be right now. For me, the woman has a very auspicious role for us. If you have a woman by your side, she is there to support you, to guide you, to mentor you, to be a shoulder to cry on. But at the same time, a woman also has a soft heart that also needs patience, that also needs care, that also needs someone to walk with her in this life.
Oh.
So for me, being a woman is a strong role. It is a role that does not only require being independent. It comes with the job, of course. But having someone by your side, walking along with you every step of the way, makes a woman stronger. And for me, being a woman is one of the important roles in the world, and that will help you be auspicious in your own life. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing with us what you think about a strong woman there. All right, the next one. We'll just have the last one because we have 3 speakers this afternoon. Who would like to take the third challenge? All right. What's the name? Sorry.
This is Yvette, Miss Phebe.
Yvette. Hi, Yvette.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon, Yvette. Your topic is, a woman is like a tea bag. You never know how strong she is until she gets in hot water, by Eleanor Roosevelt. A woman is like a tea bag. You never know how strong she is until she gets in hot water. Yvette.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. So in this quote, I agree that every woman is like a tea bag. Because in our position, for example, in my position as a duty manager, there's a time that we're not that sure on which are we headed to, which decision shall we take. It's okay. Decisions. Yeah. Decisions to take. Is it this one or this one? What will be the repercussions of this one and the other one? So once you're being tested, I think that's where your faith will come up. That's where the brightest decision will come. So if ever we are if ever we are who we are now because of the experiences that we face each and every day. So I agree with the quote. Thank you.
Thank you very much for all our brave our brave speakers this afternoon. Later, we will hear from our Table Topics Evaluator, our Director Jonathan, who will give us feedback on how we fared in our Table Topic speeches. But now I would like to call on our Toastmaster of the Day, Joevel Fernandez, to take over our session for the succeeding prepared speeches. Back to you, our Toastmaster of the Day, Joevel.
Thank you so much, DTM Phebe, for facilitating our table topics. And why don't we give another warm round of applause to our brave, strong women who spoke this afternoon. Come on. Thank you so much for sharing your thought about women who I believe need to be empowered and to be given priority and equal and be equal in all things. All right, let's move on to our next segment because we only have a few minutes left. We're done with the table topics, the impromptu speeches this time. Let's proceed to our prepared speeches. And this afternoon, again, we have three strong women who will be delivering their icebreaker speeches. So the purpose of this project is to introduce yourself to all of us. Tell us who you are. And our first speaker for this afternoon is Toastmaster Mayann Malapote. We call on Toastmaster Mayann Malapote. Please give her a big applause.
I would prefer to face my team if that's okay with you, TM. So I speak as well now. I need to talk about myself. Okay.
The side comes one.
Okay, there you go. Yes, thank you. So let me start. Today morning, I was thinking, what can I possibly say for 4 minutes that will make you interested about me? I talked to some of my colleagues in the office, and I asked them, what is very interesting in me that people may want to listen? I have nothing. To be very honest, until a couple of minutes ago, I have nothing. So I said to myself, listen, they are your coworkers. Might as well talk to them about work. So, to begin my speech about myself, for me, I'm not a hotelier, not interested in it, didn't study it. After high school, I really don't know what to do. But then I asked myself, what do you love? And I realized I love money. So I studied banking and finance. I graduated in 2003, summa cum laude, from the Lyceum of Batangas. And that's the first joke. Humorous bit of my speech, actually. So after graduating college, I entered banking world. I joined BDO as a coin counter. For a good 6 to 8 months, day in and day out, I counted coins. They were very impressed by how I counted from 1 to 100 every day. So they gave me an opportunity. So they said, Mayann, I'm going to promote you as a teller. So as a teller, I did cash in and cash out every single day of my life for 1 year. And then I said, you can already balance your till. We call it the till number. Then they moved me to the general services, where people come to you, pay Meralco, Manila, credit cards, and what have you. And then my manager, again, saw the potential in me. And then she said, I think you're ready to move to marketing. That's where you done it, marketing. I'm not very good at it. So they put me back to where you open accounts. So I did open my accounts of pretty much all the walk-ins. I do client calls. That's where I started my sales orientation. So, but the money is not enough. I'm the first child. Money is not that good. So I decided to move abroad, thinking all this time that this is just gonna be my stepping stone. And then I moved to a much bigger banking industry in the United Arab Emirates. And that's what I did. In 2006, I joined my first hotel. It's a 5-star hotel in the UAE. I did nothing but check in and check out, like a chicken. Check in, check out, check in, check out. The FO here we go. After 6 months, I moved to another hotel. I became an FOS. That's where I was oriented in a much bigger scope, where I understand what guest relations is about, what duty manager is about, what concierge tasks are. But in one department, not so big still. After a year, I moved as a front desk manager, day manager in front desk. Now I have a better understanding on how complaints was handled. I need to speak to people, angry people. And for me, I'm very comfortable talking to angry people rather than talking to you right now in public, to be honest. I was telling you earlier, an hour ago, I'm very comfortable. Like 5 minutes before my speech, I want to vomit. But in handling complaints, I think it's one of my talent. I've handled some of the complaints, huge ones here with you guys. And so far, we delivered, all of us. So I move on. I said, day job, day manager. I want to be more. I want to understand the back end of the hotel. Going out there, handling complaints, handling availability, talking to the people, making sure they come back to the hotel. It's okay, but doesn't give me the drive anymore. It gets boring. So I went and became the night manager for 3 years. To be honest, up until this moment, I didn't really understand what's the difference between the night and the day manager, except for the fact that I have to take more caffeine and take more therapy. And finally, the auspicious moment, the one that I've been dreaming of, to become my own department head. Here, I deal with only HODs. I believe even if I was the one, if I'm one of the foreigner in the country, I was able to connect to my team. And I stand here with you right now as the Director of Operation of Belmont Hotel Manila. And I think I'm very proud that I was there. I'm going to reach it, but still not enough. Thank you so much.
Joevel. Toastmaster Joevel, can we move on to the second speaker? May we call on our second speaker, Colleen Liveste, Colleen Jill Liveste, our Vice President for Membership. President Mayann, who spoke earlier, it was the president of our Belmont Hotel Toastmasters Club Manila. Now we have Colleen. Let's give her a big, big hand. What's the title of your speech?
The title of my speech is My Younger Days.
Younger Days. Thank you.
Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. Let me start it off with, let me see if we can spell it right. But I will be the one to spell it, and you will be the one to let me know what word am I spelling. And it starts with Bullied. What does it say? Bullied. For sure, none of us would want to be bullied, right? Because it's something that we really, really don't want to experience at some point in our lives. But let me share with you a personal story of mine that at one point in my life, I experienced that. Particularly in my younger years, when I was still in elementary and high school. Back in the days when I was speaking in front, I was asked to become the prayer leader, or if I was asked to read something in front of a lot of people, I would see my classmates at the back, laughing at me, mocking at me. And I would know that it was me that they were talking about because they would laugh at me and then they would look at me. And that had happened a lot of times. I would know also that it was me that they're talking about, or that they are laughing about, because, you know, a concerned classmate of mine also told me about it. So how did it affect me? It came to a point that I don't want to go to school. I don't want to go to school anymore. To the point that my guidance counselor and my class advisor really went to our house to check up on me and to check how I was. You know, the memory is still vivid. Up until now, I could still recall in that moment. But fast forward, I won't be the person I am today if it wasn't because of the past experiences that I've had. And I'm sharing this to everybody because everything happens for a reason. At some point in our lives, people become antagonists of our own personal lives, right? But let's remember that we are the star of our own life. I haven't actually mentioned the reason why they were laughing at me. You know the reason why? It was because, if I may use the Tagalog word, because it would best describe what they really feeling way back then, it was because I was maarte to them. I was maarte in speaking and even in walking. So in short, overall assessment by them, to me, I was really maarte. So that's the reason, that was the reason actually of why they were laughing at me. But, you know, again, fast forward, I was able to finish my studies. And modesty aside, with Latin honors. Let's just remember that, you know, let it not get the best of us. And just like in my story, if I dwell too much on what I have experienced, again, I would be where I am right now, facing everybody of you. And so we have to conquer fear, everybody. We have to believe in ourselves. And actually, that's just a first step for us to believe in ourselves before other people would do. Because if I can do it, everybody can do it. And I believe that this Toastmasters will really help us be a successful, professional person one day. And that also involves us speaking confidently in public. That would be all, Bob. Thank you.
Thank you so much to our three amazing speakers for this afternoon. Wow, they have Latin honors. I don't have that. Okay, so we have really strong women from Belmont Toastmasters Club. So we're done with speeches.
No, we have our
heard.
third.
Sorry. Oh, we still have. Yes,
We
still
have
another
one more. We have
Oh,
one
we
more.
still have one more. I'm sorry for that. I'm just so excited to hear the evaluation. But we still have another speaker. May we call on Venus Arroyo. Let's all welcome Toastmaster Venus Arroyo.
Guys, yung issue niyo. Miss me bang may Spanish? May Spanish.
It is a pleasure to be here today, and I am deeply grateful for the opportunity to introduce myself. By the way, I am Venus Robles Arroyo. During my younger years, I've been through different challenges of my life. Let's start it when I was young. Same with Miss Colleen, I was bullied. Every time there's a start of the class, they are asking, what's my ambition? Usually, I often say,
I wanted to be a police officer. And then growing up, my father pushed me to become one. But unfortunately, maybe it's not my calling. So now, I'm here today at Belmont, Manila, being an executive assistant to the cluster general manager and trying to develop more of myself and be the better version of myself, trying to improve and offer a bigger opportunity for myself to grow and giving motivation and assistance as much as possible to everyone. During my past career, I faced different challenges, but I was able to overcome and surpass all of that. Now, as I continue to this position, I would like to extend my deepest sincere appreciation to this company and believe that this is my calling. Thank you and good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster. Okay. Thank you so much to our three amazing speakers for this afternoon. Thank you for sharing your stories and telling us who you are. Indeed, we just heard from three great women. So as I previously mentioned, we're done with the speeches. We heard speakers talk about their lives. This time around, let's proceed to the next portion, which is called our evaluation. This portion is very important because it's how we learn. We learn from our speeches. We learn from the experts. Hence, we can better ourselves as speakers and leaders. And to lead our evaluation this afternoon, we are privileged to have with us the master, distinguished Toastmaster, Ed Fabonan. Let's give him a warm round of applause, please.
Good afternoon, Belmont Toastmasters. Let me just blow up the program here on my screen so that I can more clearly see who's going to perform all the roles this afternoon. So this is the evaluation portion of our meeting. And the purpose of evaluation is to give feedback to all the speakers and all the role players so that they may be motivated to perform again in the next meeting, and so that they will also know what else could be done to change or improve the way that they performed during the public speaking presentation. Now, what I'd like to emphasize first in evaluation, we as evaluators, we are not your teachers. We are your peers. We are just giving you feedback which you may or may not apply. So it's up to you to be open-minded in listening to what we are trying to say. And if you do not like to adopt what we are recommending, then it's also up to you not to follow. And if you like it, then you can also try what we are suggesting maybe in your next presentation. So for this afternoon, we have table topics and 3 prepared speakers. So to illustrate to you what evaluation is going to be like, I'd like to call the evaluator of table topics first, who would be our Division L Director, Jonathan Miclat. Jonathan, can you take over the table topics evaluation first? Let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator Ed Fabonan. For the first speaker, as an example, no less than our General Evaluator himself, DTM Ed used the so-called prep pattern. And this kind of example is a perfect example on how you'll be able to use the prep, the position, the reason, example, and the position. I really love listening as an introduction of the speech about how DTM Ed was inspired about his wife. True enough, the success of his wife will be the success of him as well. And in terms of monetary or financial, as well as an example, to validate that particular example, absolutely is a very good example to consider. And what's even more powerful is that the position when he went back to claim that he was inspired because the wife's so resilient and in the competitive world, absolutely able to cope up with this kind of competition. So in the observance of the International Women's Month, DTMM was able to encapsulate the theme of the day and at the same time gave us an inspiring speech. Thank you very much. Congratulations for that powerful message and very inspiring example, DTM Ed. For the second speaker, too unfortunate, the speech was not complete, but I commend the kind of courage to speak up. Though it's not complete, Toastmaster Kai, I challenge you next time to make it happen. This is a safe environment where we will be able to commit mistakes and be able to deliver what we're trying to say. And that is something that we will be able to grow. So just remember this day, although you were not able to complete it, but I congratulate you for the kind of bravery that you took for this afternoon. And that's something that we will be remembered for you. For the next time, I challenge you to become more resilient, more flexible, and be able to adapt with the environment that you have. Congratulations for taking the first step. For the third speaker, I think it was Jean. Jean was so sweet name because Jean is also the name of my sister. What I like most in the speech of Toastmaster Jean is the start of what is the meaning of a woman for her. It's not about the gender. It's not about that kind of role that you may be able to take. And this is based or honed by experience. And she cited about the gender equality. And true enough, in the observance of the International Women's Day, just remember, who among you have given or rather watched the Miss Universe 1994? In the words of Miss Universe Susmita Sen, what is the essence of a woman? And in her reply, the essence of a woman originates from the child born by a mother who is a woman. And that is something that I was expecting, of course, to provide more and elaborate, because that particular answer is something that's very dear to all women in this club. But congratulations, because you took the very first step and you ended it. So with this particular speech, you also use auspicious in your own life. And thank you for using the word auspicious, because it's something that will help you grow in your vocabulary. Very opportune for you to use this one, because this is something relevant in using the word of the day. And congratulations, you made it as well. Thank you very much for your speech, for enlightening us. And that is something that I will give you more credit later on if you will challenge yourself by using a different kind of pattern. Perhaps in the next speech, you may be able a more personal story that you may be able to relate to us. And the last part, was it Yvette? Yvette also used the prep speech pattern with the introduction that you agree with the quotation. And that is something that you mentioned for your duty. It's not where you're heading, it's about the direction that you wanted to consider. And also, I noticed that there are some fillers that you have considered. So be mindful of the ahs and ums that you may be able to observe in your speech by pausing. That is something that you may be able to consider. In terms of the content of your speech, I admire you because you were able to answer the message of the speech. Congratulations for your first table topic speech, and I challenge you to use other speech pattern in your next speech. Congratulations. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Director Jonathan. And those were wonderful evaluations. I'd like to comment all the. Okay, wait. Can you still see me? I cannot see myself.
Yeah, we
Okay,
can
now.
see you.
Okay. I'd like to commend the Table Topics Evaluator for taking such thorough evaluation of all the speakers. And first of all, I'd like to also acknowledge and appreciate all of you who participated, because I realized that some of you are still scared speaking in front of people. Now, but this is still an auspicious situation because it shows that you are all ready to stand up and speak. Don't worry, as you continue delivering speeches in table topics, you'll become very confident in public speaking. And what will it benefit you to become confident in public speaking? It's not necessarily to become a public speaker. You will realize that the confidence in speaking in front of people will benefit you in situations like when you're negotiating with a supplier or with a client, or also when you're trying to speak to groups of people like your board of directors. These are important situations that you will need your confidence in public speaking. Now, my additional comment here, I realize that Phebe may have given you some questions that are too tough. So I'd recommend to Phebe, I think it scared them. Some of the questions seems like they're going to deliver a thesis defense about women. So maybe try to mix up a few questions that are simple. For example, I was thinking one of the questions that would have served this team well would be, you know that in the Bible there's a statement that women submit to your husbands. Do you agree with that statement? So those things, they are very relevant. People can relate to that question, and it would be a nice question to ask these women in this group. Now let's move on. I'm going to, by the way, I have to continue this statement first. In Toastmasters, there are 4 ways to learn. The first is by observing speakers before you. You can copy their style, you can even quote them and not acknowledge them. Those are the ways that you can learn. Observe their techniques and then you try to adopt them. The second one is using your manual. You see, all of you will be given a manual when you become a Toastmaster, and you will copy the manual, follow the manual, and you will learn a lot by following the manual. The third way is through the mentor that will be assigned to you as you participate as a Toastmaster. And the fourth way is here, evaluation, the feedback that we give you. So I hope that this evaluation is really encouraging you and teaching you in public speaking. So next, move on and listen to the evaluator of the first prepared speech. That would be the distinguished Toastmaster, Phebe Pendon. Take it away, Phebe.
Thank you very much, Sir Ed. Sir Ed is our national champion in humorous speech, and he is our club mentor in Maharlika, my home club. So it is my privilege to provide feedback and giving value to the speech of President Mayann. I really admire you for taking the lead in this club. How auspicious was the journey that you've shared with us this afternoon. I see you as the best storyteller. You have captured our attention when you started, even if at the very start you were asking a question, what will I share? How will I start my speech? How will I carry on? And what's the part of my life that I'm going to share, given that you have a long history of achievements? So I understand how you feel, not knowing where to begin and where to start. But I'd like to congratulate you for making or meeting the purpose of your speech, and that was to introduce yourself to us. Only a portion of it, but you have, I feel that you have given a lot already with the content. As I give you my feedback, I'll be working on the content, the organization of your speech, and your delivery, that's COD, as well as your gestures, how you have been able to deliver your speech. And I'll be giving also some suggestions. First of all, I'd like to commend you for being a good storyteller. You've been able to share bits and pieces of your life story, but it was coming from deep within when you achieve as a summa cum laude, when you got your first job, second job, and then when you moved on to UAE. I was traveling with you to UAE. I was there and I felt like, wow, what a grand experience that would have been being in those tall buildings of companies in UAE. You have been able to share with us your experiences in the banking industry, your BPO experiences and the hotel, and how you have gone into your position right now as the manager of operations. Your organization of your speech is really well polished. It was easy to follow in your story. You have an easy flow. My suggestion will be more on your gestures, because there were times when you were not facing the audience or looking at us, that you were looking up, and at some point when you turn to the sides, you are actually like you're not facing the audience. So there are so much to learn in terms of application of the gestures. Your language is very good, and your eye contact at some point were good. At some point, you were diverting your eye contact, and I see that you have the same voice all over. I suggest that you try on vocal variety, where you can raise your voice when you're excited for the achievements, receiving your summa cum laude, and so forth, and all the challenges that you have encountered being a front manager. You can vary your voice depending on your story. Overall, you have achieved your purpose. You have been able to provide us a good content, and the organization of your speech was very well with an easy flow of your telling stories. Then you can also add up a call to action or inspiration for your audience. Connect your conclusion because your ending was kind of abrupt. Connect it with your introduction. Above all, congratulations for your successful sharing of your icebreaker introduction of yourself. Congratulations, President Mayann.
Yes, that was a nice feedback from Febby. And I love it that you highlighted the important characteristics of delivering a speech in public using gestures, using vocal variety, and organizing your speech. To all the speakers who are here, to all the new speakers or Toastmasters, those are the things that you'll often learn first when you're delivering a speech. How to use your hands to articulate the things that you want to say, how to use your voice to include emotion and your enthusiasm in the message that you're delivering, and also how to organize your ideas in a way that it builds up to a conclusion that your audience will listen to. And Febby touched on those aspects. Eventually, you will all learn other ideas about public speaking, but this is an icebreaker speech, so we start with this. And we start with becoming confident standing in front. So I congratulate both of you, the evaluator and the speaker, for this particular assignment. Also, I would like to point out, in the beginning of our program, when the people are delivering table topics, the camera is pointed at that door that I see at the back of your meeting room, so that when you were delivering table topics, it's like you're reciting in front of us, the evaluator. Maybe let's make, when the prepared speeches came along, you are now facing the audience. So let's also make it a point that even in table topics, you get used to speaking at the audience that is in person, which is the audience in front of the room. Thank you for that, for changing the angle of the camera for this setup. Now we move on to the next evaluator. This time you're going to be evaluated by the director of Area 2, and this is Alvin See. Oh, sorry, Area 1. Thank you, Alvin, for correcting.
Hindi joke. Hindi natin online yung joke.
Bullie. Bullied. I was
Alvin,
bullied.
I cannot hear
Well,
you. I don't know if it's just me or...
let's. How about now?
Can you hear Alvin clearly? No.
Not so clear.
You have to
Come
change.
closer to your audio.
You have to come closer to your microphone.
Not yet.
That's Mike. Alvin.
Is it internet connection?
I think he hung.
I
Okay.
think so.
Alvin, I'm going to postpone your evaluation. I'm going to call first evaluate the third evaluator, Abigail Ko. Alvin, I'm going to ask you to speak later. I'm going to call Abigail Ko first. Maybe you can fix your microphone in the meantime. So let's call now the third evaluator, Abigail Ko, to evaluate our third speaker. Abigail, the floor is yours.
Okay, so can I just ask again the name of the third speaker, the one with the yellow ribbon?
Venus.
Venus. Okay.
Venus Arroyo, yes.
Okay. Okay, so the speech of Venus, if I'm right, is the icebreaker speech. The objective of it is to introduce yourself, and it's also the first speech for the pathways, which is the educational portion or educational educational books of the Toastmasters Club. So what Venus did was she started with the topic of bullying, referencing to the previous speaker. So that method promotes a sense of presence to connect with the speaker and the topic that was left behind by the previous speaker. So moving forward, you will introduce yourself as having challenges and overcoming the challenges. So the good thing about that is you were able to organize your speech in a way that you are presenting something that you want to change from before to after. Now, to improve your speech, you could rearrange the order of your speech into the bullying and then adding the details of the bullying and how it relates to the challenges of your life in general. That's one. Another way is to remember how to divide your speech into 3 parts: the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. So if you want to discuss bullying, you could discuss a story of what were the details or what happened that led to the bullying, or what would the bullying look like, right? And for the challenges, you could share about your story. It can be about your family, your work, or outside family and work. So these are the clues or the techniques. So overall, I commend your candidness, because icebreaker is usually one of the most challenging speech because of the statement that the first step is always the hardest and after that is easier. I also commend that you showed being comfortable on the stage. And you could improve that if you could walk around, take a pause, share about the details of your speech. Thank you so much for sharing about little details about your life, and we hope to hear from you.
Thank you, Abigail, and I agree. I think what you wanted to say, the quote that you wanted to say, is that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step, and this is the first step that these speakers did. Thank you for your evaluation. Now let me call back our second evaluator, Alvin. Are you ready, Alvin?
Yes. Am I audible?
Yes. So now that's a good sounding voice. Take it away.
Okay. Thank you, General Evaluator. B-U-L-L-I-E, bullet. I was bullied. That is your starting statement, Toastmaster Colleen. That grabs my attention. And it shows that you're prepared for your speech. And from being a book, you tell the story about your past in elementary and high school, that you were bullied whenever there are someone who needs to lead a prayer or read something long, they always choose you. But when you deliver your speech, you were able to show and say to the audience that you are the protagonist. You are the star of your life, and you should believe in yourself. And that made me know more about you. And you graduated with Latin honors. And I also noticed that you have a nice vocal variety. There are ups and downs when you deliver your speech. And I also noticed that you have chronological order when you were delivering your speech. How can I help you in your future speech? I noticed that the time was just turned green when you ended your speech. We want to know more about you, and you still have more than a minute to tell us more about yourself. Hope in the future speech, hopefully you could maximize the time so that you could tell more and express yourself better on your in front of your audience. Also, I noticed that you are breaking your eye contact from the audience. Sometimes you are looking down, and sometimes you are looking left and right to your audience. As if you want to, as a public speaker, try to maintain eye contact with your audience so that they could connect with you when you're delivering your speech. And I challenge you in your next speech that when you're going to deliver a speech in a hybrid setup, I know this is the first time, maybe you could position yourself so that we could see at least half of your body and so that we could see your hand gestures. Overall, you've done a great job delivering your icebreaker speech. I felt that you were prepared. You have a good vocal variety, and you made your speech in a chronological order. And for your future speech, try to maximize your time and have better eye contact with your audience. With that, you successfully meet the objective of your speech for the icebreaker, letting everyone get to know more about you, how your past life being bullied, and how you became the star of your own life by believing in yourself. With that, I return back the control of the proceedings to our general evaluator.
Thank you, Alvin. Thank you for introducing two more concepts when delivering a speech. Two concepts that Alvin introduced were one, getting the attention of the audience, and two, eye contact. Both of these things are important because if you establish eye contact with the person you're talking to, and you can develop this as a habit, if you continue doing this in practice, it establishes credibility. It makes you sincere. It makes you seem like you are really telling the truth. Also, one way to get attention is to say something that captivates the imagination, like a quote, or maybe speak louder. But actually, establishing eye contact also grabs the attention of the audience. If they see that you're looking at them, they have no choice but to listen to you, at least to show that they're attentive. So those are two related things. And if you practice it often when you're delivering a speech, you will become very effective in keeping the audience glued to you. Thank you for introducing those concepts, Alvin. The next part of our evaluation is called the technical feedback. That would be the counter, the grammarian, and the timer. We only have one person to perform this role, although ordinarily in a meeting there should be one person per role. But this time, our role taker has taken the task of doing all of this. So let's see what he has to say to us. Let's welcome James Gonzales. James, the floor is yours.
Thank you, DTM Ed, and I'll be taking care of being the grammar counter and timer, and will be giving a concise report. I'd like to report on the grammarian with the usage of the word auspicious. 5 out of 10 speakers use the word auspicious in their speeches. So we hit 50%. So that's a good number. Now for the use and misuse, so to speak, misuse of the English language. So let's start with gems or the good use. I've heard 2 triads from Toastmaster Eugene. when she mentioned to mentor you, to guide you, and I forgot the last, to blank you. So it's the use of triads. And also Toastmaster Venus, to grow myself better, to better blank myself, and yet another phrase that ended with myself. So it's a good way of describing things with triads. Now, how can we further our grammar? So let's make sure that we enunciate the word P and F properly. Like we misuse or we mispronounce it, like the word flexible, we pronounce it as flexible. So it should be flexible. Or vocabulary. Sometimes because we're in a hurry, we say vocabulary. So it should be vocabulary. And lastly, our tenses. Grabs my attention. It could have been grab my attention, because as, oh, we're okay. Where's my notes? Because as Carl Sandburg said, I never made a mistake in grammar, but one in my life, and as soon as I done it, I seen it. A quote by Carl Sandburg. In being a grammarian, I never made a mistake in grammar, but one in my life, and as soon as I done it, I seen it. So that's for the grammarian role. Now for the accounter. The accounter takes care and makes sure that the accounter counts our post fillers such as so, ums, and end. And amongst the 10 speakers, we have our valedictorian. Our valedictorian, meaning the highest numbers of post fillers, would be our president, Toastmaster Mayann. No, sorry. Toastmaster Yvette, sorry. Toastmaster Yvette, and it was called out earlier, you're fond of using and so you got 14 for today. And our salutatorian, which is our second in place, is Toastmaster Mayann, which is our president, and she uses so and 9 times in her speech. And our third placer is our evaluator, Toastmaster Alvin, with 7 ends. You are fond of using the word end, even though it's not the last number. So I suggest if our post fillers is end, we try to use the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Because we have the tendency to say 1 and no. If we're not using numbers, instead of 1, we say end. So to address using the pause, another way to address the pause fillers is to make the glorious pause. Just stop. Because people will think that, whoa, that's a pause. What's the next word? What's the next sentence? What's the next phrase? So that's where the glorious pause comes in. Thirdly, and before I finish my counter, I'd like to misquote Alexander Pope in saying, to err is human, to forego erring divine. Now for the third technical evaluation, which is our usage of time, I'd like to report that we hit 60%. So 6 out of 10 speakers were on time. 1 was under time, and 3 were over time. In our impromptu speeches, there were 3, and they were all on time. For our prepared speeches, there were only Toastmaster Venus came in at 2:11 for a possible minimum of 4 minutes. Toastmaster Jonathan went over time of possible 3.5 minutes, 7 minutes and 50 seconds for his evaluation of the table topic speakers. Toastmaster Phebe went a little bit, 33 seconds out of a possible 3 minutes for the evaluation of the first speaker. while Toastmaster Alvin and Toastmaster Abigail went on time, well, Toastmaster Alvin went over a little bit, like, photo finish on his overtime, and Toastmaster Abigail was on time. For as they say as a timer, time you enjoy wasting is not time wasted. Back to you, General Evaluator DTM Ed Fabonan.
Thank you, James. And that's what I mean when I said that you learn a lot from evaluation. So you learn, for example, from James, to err is human. I'm going to change that. To err is human. To admit it is superhuman. Now you also learned from James the expression the triad. The triad is not just a gang in China. The triad is actually a technique that we use whenever we want to be effective when we deliver a message. That's why in literature you always see triads. That is ideas grouped in three. Like when Julius Caesar was quoted, he said, "I came, I saw, I conquered." When you describe the kind of man that you would like to say, tall, dark, and what? Rich, right? Always in threes. So that is how we organize ideas in speech, and that is what James would like to call a triad. I hope that you can master that technique and become better in public speaking. Now we have completed all the feedback in this meeting. I'd like to just add my own first to that Toastmaster of the evening. Our Toastmaster of the evening, Joevel, congratulations for leading the meeting with a very enthusiastic style, loud voice, certainly grabs the audience attention. And I think that you were also encouraging and motivating to all these speakers. What I'd like to remind you is that when delivering the introduction to the speakers, always give us an idea what the speech is all about. What is the objective of this speech? And maybe also introduce who will be the evaluator of the speech. This is very important, particularly when the evaluator is assessing the speech. What objectives should the evaluator attribute the things that he or she is observing, so that the evaluator can connect the performance to the objectives of the speech. On the whole, I felt that you managed time very well, and that also you were very encouraging and motivating as a Toastmaster of the day. Now, for the rest, I commend all the participants who bravely rose and spoke. Some of you I noticed that you are really new to Toastmasters, and some of you are really scared standing in front. I saw somebody when she stood in front, she did the sign of the cross before she spoke. And I can feel that you were scared of facing this audience. But don't worry. As you keep on doing this, you will become much, much more confident. You will see how confident you are by the manner in which you involve yourself in public activities. Some of you could experience what happened to me sometimes when I attend a wedding reception and I do not like how the MC is handling the proceedings. I grab the mic because I can feel that I can make the audience more excited if I do not let the MC do the work. You will feel this when you host or when you are involved in children's parties, and generally in every event. You will have the tendency to take over when you become very used to public speaking. So to close this evaluation session, I'm going to give you my own women quote because this is Women's Month, and this is about what a man needs. A man needs a woman who is beautiful. A man needs a woman who is very caring. And a man needs a woman who is very smart. And it's very important that these three women do not know each other. So let me give back the word to you, our Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, DTM Ed, for facilitating or leading our general evaluation for this afternoon. We learned so many things from you, and I believe Belmont has learned a lot from you, Sir Ed. Right, guys?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. What a way to end our session this afternoon. It's a great afternoon. Thank you for having us. Thank you for having me as your Toastmaster of the day. And to all the beautiful and amazing women out there, keep shining. Make yourself empowered because without women, I cannot imagine what the world is. We need women who are empowered, strong, and of course, beautiful. So thank you so much, everyone. Next time, let's do better. And I'm calling our president, our DTM, okay, Febs.
We have CGD Susit.
Okay. I would
Perhaps we
ask.
can have a
Okay, ask her
word.
to give a word. Yep.
Yes, please.
Yep. Oh, let's all welcome our
Club growth.
district club growth director to probably say a word and welcome our Belmont Toastmasters members.
Yes, greetings from Davao City. I'm so happy to join you. It's my first encounter with Toastmasters of Belmont, Manila Toastmasters Club. And from the few speakers I've heard earlier, I was reminded of me as a new Toastmaster because I could see that everyone was natural born speakers like me because I am very comfortable speaking in front. But what aspiration I set when I joined Toastmaster and is something that I'm still aspiring up to now, 11 years after, is to be able to speak in an organized manner. That is other than having something to say, that is, I believe, one. Sorry, that's my daughter back the door. Did you hear that? So, as I was saying, an effective communicator is someone who is really organized. And in Toastmasters, I learned how to do that. First is do not forget focus. So I know we're running out of time, but I cannot not share my notes about the speakers. I'm so excited. You know, especially with second speaker, was that the second speaker about the one who is always the leader prayer. I
Yeah.
believe you really had a very beautiful speech material. So I could relate with your evaluator really when she was trying to say that you could use was that really bullying or the part that you were like being laughed at in a more creative way and use that to have a very powerful introduction of your speech and then eventually develop your powerful message about believing in yourself no matter what people do to you. So I really saw a beautiful speech material and you could develop more that speech. So thank you so much for sharing that to us. So and then with the first speaker, I could see that you were so comfortable in front. So also with the other speaker. And I commend the table topics reactors who really brave stand up and answer the table topic. So again, I could see you all have in you to become public speakers, equipped in the English language, pleasing in front. So let's learn the Toastmaster way of just having this focused and organized in our speeches. So that's one thing that may be a challenge that I can give you on our first encounter. And another challenge is I hope that the next time I join you is that the Belmont Toastmasters will be the one handling the meeting roles. And I would volunteer to be your general evaluator. I am so happy to join you all the way from Davao City. Good afternoon and back to you.
Thank you so much to our Club Growth Director for sharing tips and welcoming our Belmont Toastmasters Club. We would love to have you again. Please join us. All right, it's almost 5:30. I know you guys have still work to do. It has been a great afternoon. Thank you, Belmont. You guys are amazing. So may I call our club president to close our meeting.
The meeting is now over. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presence this afternoon. This is the first meeting where we have demonstrated the various roles. We will be providing guidelines and helping technical roles and all the role takers for Belmont for the next meeting. So we have started meeting with them, giving orientation and pathways, navigating the Toastmasters website, and they will be handling the roles by next meeting. So thank you very much, everyone. We'd like to thank especially our Club Growth Director for being present this afternoon, our club mentor, Ed Fabonan, for being our General Evaluator, our Division Director for being a Table Topics Evaluator, our guest Speech Evaluator. We have Abigail and our Air Director, Alvin, and our guest Toastmaster of the Day, our Training Manager, Joevel, and everyone else, our Technical Evaluator as a superhuman accomplishing three roles at one time. Toastmaster James, Area Director, Toastmaster James, and everyone who was present this afternoon. Thank you so much for being brave in standing in front and sharing your speeches. I have learned a lot from you all. Thank you. See you.
Baby,
Yes.
if it's okay, because this is an auspicious day for us to take picture in the observance of the International Women's Month. I believe they're all confidently beautiful with a heart and brain. And so therefore, we have to have this picture. Can we have...
Yeah, can we pull yourselves together in the middle, ma'am? I was
in the middle, if it's okay. Yeah.
I was able to take some photos of you, but it's like divided.
That's right.
There you go. This is a memorable day. Some of you cannot be seen at the back. I'm going to take the photo.
Using the mabuhay gesture of Belmont, if it's okay, put your...
Do we really have an all-women participant? Or it's just a coincidence that this is...
There are guys as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Very few.
I will spotlight you guys so that you can be seen. All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Beautiful.
Nice.
Ganda. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Maraming salamat.
Thank you then sa role takers, Division L, and
Pangga, thank you.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, DTM PB. Thank you. Thank you all.
Division.